Hi, welcome to another episode of Principles on the Come Up, where today our topic will be ways to increase equity in your building. That's right, ways to increase equity in your building. How many of you are responsible for making sure that equity is taken care of in your building? Are you the building principal? Are you the assistant principal? Are you the instructional coach? Well, how many of you are responsible for taking care of equity? And if you are responsible for taking care of equity on your campus, in your building, what are you doing about it? And what would happen if you decided that you would get a team of teachers or a team of teacher leaders on your campus to bring about equity on your campus? Today, we're going to consider three things when we're considering equity on your campus. We're going to look at three things to impact equity on your campus. The first is to eliminate zeros given to students for late work. That's right. I know that's a paradigm shift, but that is one big thing that will change the equity on your campus. The second thing is to remove the prerequisites for your AP classes and your honors classes. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. Yes, that's right. And the third thing is to review the hiring practices in your district. And when we say hiring practices in your district, we're talking about hiring practices on your campus. So my name is Dr. Barbara Polk, and I am a consultant. I am a trainer that goes into schools to help schools like yours get those schools turned around, get those schools to improve so that you can use the people who you have in your building and you can turn everything around. If you're responsible for the equity in your building, then this is for you. If you know that equity needs to be changed in your building, then this is for you. If you know that there are ways to increase equity, but you just don't know how, then this is for you. If you know that building a sense of community in your building will change the equity, then this is for you. So let's look at before we look at these three ways, I want you to hit that share button. I want you to hit that share button 3 times because you have some colleagues, you have some friends, you have some associates who need to hear this, because some of these things that we're going to be talking about are things that are unspoken. We know we need to address equity, but we just don't know how to address equity. So I'm going to be giving you some tips and some strategies on some things that you can do in order to improve equity on your campus. And the first thing is to eliminate zeros for late work. Now you say, well, I've never heard of that. How are you going to eliminate zeros? What are you going to do in order to get our middle school and our high school students motivated if you don't give them zeros for late work? Well, there's a way that me and my team will come into your school and we will show you the program that we have used, the program that has been successful in other schools to get those schools turned around and also to improve the equity. Remember, you can't turn the school around without changing the equity that's in your building. We are addressing those students that are in communities of color and those students that are in low-income communities, our rural communities. We want to make a change. And the first thing is to eliminate the zeros for late work. Students are turning in late work. You give them a 0. Oh, wow. So you give them a chance to get off the hook because they turn the work in late. So the next time when they get ready to turn work in, they won't turn it in at all because it's going to be late. You're going to give them a 0. So we know that as we work in those communities, we're going to have to receive these children where they are, how they are, and how we can best work with them. Remember, these are children in progress. These are not adults. You say, well, on the job, if they come in late, that's going to be some repercussion. Well, they're not on the job yet. If you're in middle school, they're not on the job yet. High school, there may be some on the job and they understand. But what we want to do in order to make sure that we have equity across the board is we want to eliminate the zeros for late work, and we'll show you how to do that once we get us into your building and show you exactly how it's done. The second thing is to remove the prerequisites for AP classes and for your honors classes. Okay, so you say, well, I don't understand that. Eliminating the prerequisites, isn't the purpose of a prerequisite to weed out those classes of a student that will just not work? That class of student who will come in there and that student who will disrupt that AP class and for that honors class, they put prerequisites in there for a place. They have to know that if it's an AP class or an honors class for math, they have to have some kind of math background. If it's for language arts, or if it's for reading, or if it's for science, they have to have some kind of background. How can they just go into that classroom to receive that instruction and they don't have any prerequisites? Where there are ways to do that. There are ways to do that. Remember what we're doing. We are trying to meet these students where they are. Remember that every student is not a straight A student in math and in science, in language arts or reading and in history. So you do have those students who feel as though they will not meet the prerequisites, so they don't even try. Our children of color, they see the Asian students and the white students going into those classes, and they believe that there's no need for me to go in there because I'm strong in reading, but I'm not strong in math. I'm strong in science, but I'm not strong in reading. So you need to have a way for them to be able to get into those AP and to those honors classes. And you as the teacher, you as the principal, can make sure that there are things put in place to make sure those students get the kind of assistance that they need in order to be successful in the AP and in the honors classes. And the third thing, and one of the most important things, is to review the hiring procedures of the district. Now, you say, well, you know, I'm a principal. All I do is receive the applications from the Human Resources Department. Or if you are in a very small district, you know, we send out applications, or we have things posted on a website, and we just have to take the people that we get. Well, in those positions, in those situations, when you go out and you do your recruiting, you need to change where you're recruiting. If you're seeing that you're not getting the kind of teacher candidates, that you're not onboarding the right kind of candidates for your low performing school, or for your school of color, or for your school that is a low income, these students deserve all of the equity that we can give them. We don't want anything to stand in their way to stop them from getting what they need to get. So if your HR department is going into your predominantly white institutions, and that's just what they are, you know, I hate that, you know, I'm stepping on somebody's toes, but there may be some small colleges and universities that will have people who will understand your children, people who will want to go the extra mile. They're just not in it because I'm going to get a paycheck. Then that means that your Human Resources Department, they need to be going and they need to be interviewing people at other colleges and universities. And the other thing too, principals, what we do traditionally with our team, we will look at where they graduated from, what their GPA is. Think about what was your GPA? Where did you graduate from? You're a fine teacher. You're a fine principal. You had that extra effort that didn't show up on that transcript. Or you had the extra effort that did show up on that transcript, and you were the right person for that school. So when you are considering equity on your campus, let's consider three things. And the first thing is that you want to eliminate the zeros. Eliminate the zeros for late work. The second thing is to remove the prerequisites for your AP and your honors classes. Oh my goodness, how am I going to function without? How am I going to function without eliminating the prerequisites for AP and honors classes? There are ways to do that, and we will be happy to come into your school and show you how to do that. And the last thing is to review your hiring practices. If your HR department, or if your superintendent, or if your administrators are not going into the right places to get the kinds of teachers that you need for your campus, then they need to go someplace else. There are hundreds of colleges and universities that have people who are graduating, people who want to serve communities that look like you, look like your students, and even if they don't look like your students, they have to have the passion to want to bring about the change, bring about the equity that is going to be required for all of our students to succeed. So what I want you to do is, if you want more information about how we can get into your campus, I am going to click on our ticker, and that is Calendly.com. You just go to Calendly.com, go in there and click on a time for us to talk about when we can get some time to set aside to get into your school. And then when we get into your school, we will take the people that you have. We will not go in there and try to fix all the wrong. We will do one step at a time. And we're not going to be a bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. We plan to be there. We plan to be there from the beginning until the end, not just to go in there and do a little quick professional development, and then everybody forgets about what it was that we tried to teach. We will come back. We will work with the teachers who need the help, and even address those teachers who are your super teachers. Those super teachers are the ones that are usually getting looked over because they do such a fine job. They need to have feedback as well. So as we close today, we were talking about ways to increase equity in your building. And that concludes our episode for today. We'll see you again on next Monday, where we are principals on the come up.